Hi and welcome to Next Chapter Raise, a quick look at the week that was. Plenty on the wrap this week. Let's start with what happened at Next Chapter Raise this week. First up, Nicole was a guest speaker on the Boss Babes event, network event in Singapore. She was talking all about how small businesses can raise funding. It was a great event. Still in Singapore, and the Women's Weekly magazine also did a fantastic feature piece on Nicole and included her top tips for getting funded. Must read this article, it's fantastic. I'll put the link in Facebook. Nicole and Amanda also hosted a lively Q&A discussion as part of our July masterclass about planning your funding journey. And thanks to all of our members for your great questions. Lots of funding news around this week. We almost don't have time to talk about anything else. I feel like I need a drum roll. London-based Karma Kitchen has just raised £252 million when it set out to raise just £3. It's extraordinary. Yes, you heard it right. £252 off the back of a £3 million asking. Talk about oversubscribed. So this story has everything, right? Female founders, fundraising, pivoting, growth, plus of course food. So what do? Well, they provide flexible kitchen space to restaurants, caterers, meal kit companies, etc. And so this Series A funding is going to see them open dozens of new sites across Europe.Ll put the link in Facebook and have a read of that too. It's a great yarn. In other funding news, small vending retail company Popcom has raised $1.3 million in capital exclusively, wait for this, crowdfunding investors. And it's the first time ever by any female founder. And the cherry on the top is Dawn Dixon did this in just 47 days. She said it was really important for her to raise capital this way through crowdfunding investing, as it encourages intergenerational wealth and which is often overlooked in community. She said she wants to bridge the gap between venture capital and everyday people. And this is actually the second time that she's used crowdfunding to raise capital. In 2017, she became the first Black founder to raise the highest secure token offering, or STO, from crowdfunding. Great story. Another big funding story this week, plant-based milk maker Oatley has raised $200 million in a celeb-studded round led by Blackstone. It included the likes of Oprah Winfrey, Natalie Portman, and the valuation is now at a staggering $2 billion. I've been on the Oatley bandwagon for years now. Their tagline, "Wow, no cow," is an understatement. This is better than milk. My story of the week this week goes to an interview with Impact X's co-founder, Paula Groves. We've all seen the numbers when it comes to VC funding for females and minority founders. And Groves says that the answer to creating long-lasting social change is successful impact investing. So how does it work? Through what she calls the virtuous circle. And a virtuous circle is really a complex chain of events in which each successful event leads to the achievement of the next successful event in a feedback loop. So she says, entrepreneurship creates jobs, it builds wealth, and then allows successful entrepreneurs to help the next generation of entrepreneurs, who then in turn build jobs and wealth and so on. So how do you do it practically? Well, we've all seen how using capital is done to address social issues in a very effective way. And through doing so, bringing about sustainable social change. But what if instead of donating to just a charitable organisation, you made a social impact investment instead? And she uses the analogy, give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day, teach him how to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. It's a really powerful concept, and one that she's been using and her firm's been using successfully for the past 2 years. in helping underrepresented entrepreneurs throughout Europe, particularly from the Afro-Caribbean diaspora. My tip of the week this week comes from our very own entrepreneur in residence this month, Yosha Gupta. She says when she was starting out to raise for Lafa Lafa, one of her companies, she spent a lot of time cold calling investors and not enough time asking for introductions. She says if she had to do it all again, she would definitely spend more time working the network, as she calls it, to get the right introductions, to target the right funds which have a history of backing female founders in her industry. Great advice. Coming up next week on Next Chapter Raised, Nicole is hosting a free Zoom event on Thursday on why funding is so important to small business. Sign up through our website. Now, there are just 2 more days left for the Founder Institute 2020 Asia program. This year, the program is going virtual and founders can apply from all over Asia. You might even be eligible for the Next Chapter Raised Female Founder Fellowship. So see details on our website. As I said, 2 more days until application for this program closes. Finally, next week, we're actually hosting the Cartier Implementation Hour. That's next Tuesday, July 21st from 3 to 4 p.m. Hong Kong time. We'll be doing a full review of the grant and discussing its requirements. So if you're a member of Next Chapter Raise or a friend, join us. It'll be a great discussion. That's it. Have a great weekend and catch you next time on The Wrap.